Hello everyone, I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Space Engineers. Now, recently the Planets update has landed and that's all I can say. So for quite a while, Keen have been working on bug fixes and on planets. And planets, they're not fun. I don't know what it is. I was talking to a guy about this, and I was just thinking, well, how much cooler would it have been had Keen worked on making asteroids rotate? You know, just a sort of a gentle, sort of lazy rotation. Nothing too crazy. They didn't necessarily need to move around, just gently rotate. But no, we had them work months and months and months on planets, which is something that they said that they couldn't do in the first place. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to show you planets. I'm going to show you some of the more annoying things about the game, and I'll probably talk a little bit about my concerns for the game as it stands. I said in earlier videos that I love the game, and it could potentially be sort of the next big thing. Now I'm not too sure, mainly because of the constant feature creep that Space Engineers is currently undergoing. But let me show you quite what's going on. So if I go to New World, I want to show you Custom World to start off with, because this is quite annoying. So we've got the choice of a few different sort of planet worlds here. I'm going to go into Star System in a second, but if you go into Habitable Planet and make sure it's on survival, and then if you go into it, you actually spawn in space. Okay, but you spawn with nothing else. You get a spacesuit. Now, you cannot really continue in the game without having an assembler, a refinery, and some kind of power system. And that's just your basic three things that you absolutely have to have, because otherwise you can't do anything. If you're playing with oxygen on, you also need a way of making that oxygen, so you need additional machines there as well. So for the game to just spawn you in the middle of nowhere in survival is ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to go into Star System, and we're going to, all of these, it automatically loads it up in creative, so you have to make sure that you actually do hit the survival button, otherwise it will just start you in creative. Now the next thing to do is to go into advanced, because it will by default put everything to this, which is ridiculous because I like to play on realistic, and ultimately the game should be balanced for realistic, so I'm not completely sure why it's defaulting to those things. Ugh. Take off, delete, respawn ship. I'm playing single player, so I don't need player names on. So I always just turn it off because it's got less to do then. You can't have cargo ships on when you've got planets. And I think all the other things are fine. Yeah, so let's jump in with that. Environment hostility, I'm leaving on safe, though it probably doesn't really matter on the whole. Yeah, so let's dive in, and while it's loading, I'll talk a little bit more about this. So Keen are currently, or it looks very much like they're locked in some kind of a feature creep. So with every sort of big feature, they then get a load of feedback from people, and then they look at things and think, yeah, that would be cool, let's spend time on that, and slowly the game just kind of gets longer and longer, and it adds a lot of things that they said that they wouldn't do in the first place. So things like jump drives were added because if you have planets a fair distance away from one another, it's easier then to move from one spot to another. I can also see a point for jump drives in multiplayer where you might want to have bases quite a distance apart from one another. So in that case, a jump drive does make sense. However, in the single player aspect, if you're just in very small sort of confines, it doesn't. What was it? The Sabroids. You know, the game was meant to be about engineering, so quite why we ended up with sort of alien AI. Yeah, drones I can understand. I like the idea of having some kind of enemy that you can engineer solutions to. So building torpedoes, that sort of thing. But Sabroids, I don't know. Not really my thing. Okay, so we start in an atmospheric lander. Now, I am not going to get out of this lander. I learnt this previously, because the jetpack will use up all of its hydrogen in a matter of seconds and then kill you. So, yeah. We've also got to be very careful about jumping on this planet, because it will kill you. Again, bugs that they haven't really ironed out when they've had a week to do so. This is the second week of fixes from planets, so yeah. I'm going to go into third person mode because it is easier to land a ship in third person mode. Now, this isn't your KSP style planet. There are hard-coded limits on what you can actually do. Obviously, you can only fall at a speed of 104 meters per second, and you can't really slow down until you are in atmosphere. So when the large engines on the side and on the top ignite, that is when we are in atmosphere. We'll also say oxygen high. This is a complete and utter lie. If you take your helmet off in the planet's atmosphere, you will die because of a lack of oxygen. But if you have your helmet on, it will say that oxygen is high. It's also a very green planet, so when I took my helmet off thinking it was habitable, I was quite surprised when I started dying from a lack of oxygen. It was ridiculous. So anyway, we are now falling. We are now in atmosphere. And I can start looking for a landing site. Now, this is quite important. We want somewhere reasonably flat to land. Now, I am falling at quite a rate, and I do need to turn my inertia dampeners off. There we go. Which is another thing, because the piloting large ship, it says the dampeners are still on. Yeah. As you can see, there are quite a few problems. So I'm gonna just sort of start taking off some of the speed, because obviously if I hit the ground at 100 meters per second, I'm going to lose everything. You have to get this thing down in one piece, otherwise you've lost everything. Your med bay and refinery are on the bottom of the ship. So you have to get this down in one piece. Plus you've got some quite neat doors. I like the new door. Sort of a large door. I like that. Right, we are heading a little bit towards that cliff. And we are sliding as well. Ooh, God. I may have just gone up there. This kind of thing is very similar to sort of the KSP landing, where you are just constantly trying to strip off as much speed as you possibly can. Whilst really not... See, my atmospheric engines aren't... I'm having to keep myself aloft while I strip off some of this horizontal speed. But the problem is that the speed is done in... I can't really see my vertical. I mean, maybe if I turn my inertial dampeners back on, it might do it for me. it is doing it for me. But where's the fun in that? Okay, right. I still need to strip off some of this speed. The problem is that the inertial dampeners are... Okay, they're sort of helping in that they are now levelling me off. However, I still need to land, and it's not then the inertial dampeners are not going to land for me, so I do have to turn them off. That's not meant to happen. My inertial dampeners are off. Oh god, now they're on. Now they're off. Oh god. That was weird. Right. So we haven't broken too much. I've broken two of the landing gears. Also, what happens is that when you land, your landing gear automatically locks you on. So you need to turn it off, which is K, isn't it? Landing gears, auto lock, and toggle that. So I want to unlock my landing gears, and that's going to do nothing. Okay, so can I now... Yeah, I don't have enough power to actually take off and fix this. But we are now down in one piece. It does give you... Oh, no, I don't want to... Actually, I do want to take my helmet off because I want to show you this. So when your helmet is on, it will say oxygen high in the sort of the planet thing, which would kind of indicate that there was oxygen on this planet, not that I needed to... not that I was given oxygen. It's very confusing. If I take the helmet off, it suddenly says oxygen none, and now it says oxygen high. I think because I'm in an oxygen environment, but if I go outside and try not to die when I land, oh, now it's actually doing it. Interesting. As you can see, it's at a very odd angle. I'm not completely certain I'll be able to get back up there. Jetpack on. Okay, so if I use my jetpack, I can sort of get back up, but it does use a lot of energy doing so. So that's probably my first thing to do, to start cannibalizing my ship and get a little bit of a longer ramp down. So, yeah. I mean, something that they might have... I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I have a lot of problems with this update, and I've been trying to play this and trying to build things like I did before. You know, fun, crazy things, but it's just not interesting. You know, if I want to build things on a planet, I've been playing a lot of Galactic... is it Galactic Survivor? Something or other. It's a third-party pack on the FTB launcher, where it's Minecraft, obviously, and it just sticks you on the moon, and you can kind of visit other planets, and it's quest-based survival. It's really fun, actually. A lot of Minechem stuff. And that's really enjoyable because you're just doing this sort of stuff, but you've got a lot of mods to play with, and you've got a lot of things that you can do. You've got a lot of very refined tools at your disposal. Whereas with this, they've added planets, great, but they haven't really added much in the way of tools that you can do a lot of things with. So there's no gears, there's no sliders, they've got this wonderful 3D environment in which you can interact with it, but they're not really giving us the tools in which we can interact with it. And that's a shame. I hope in the coming months, when they start tightening up the game, we might see more engineering type features, but there's a lot of talk about them adding more sort of handheld weapons, not things that you can build yourself, things just like the assault rifle. I can't modify this assault rifle in any way. I can't build it from the ground up. It's just a static item in a game that's meant to be about engineering. And that sucks. Because the game that I bought was a game about engineering, and it's not there. 7 Days to Die has more engineering in it than this. And actually, I didn't like 7 Days. This is weird. So I liked Space Engineers when it first came out, so I made videos about it. I didn't like 7 Days to Die when it came out, so I made videos about it. And now my opinions about both of them have switched. So I actually like 7 Days to Die now, but I'm not sure about Space Engineers anymore. I think they had a great idea and they had a great amount of promise, but they've got sidetracked, and as a result it's just becoming more and more feature creepy. So they may say now that they want to sort of tighten it up over the next 6 months and then release, but will they? Or will they get sidetracked by the next shiny thing and wander off and do that and then say, oh yeah, we're now going to finish it, and then get distracted again? I don't know. But for now, there's a free weekend going on at the moment, and if you haven't... I do like this door though. This is a kind of awesome door. I'm sorry, that is awesome. But anyway, if you want to pick up Space Engineers, there's currently a free weekend going on. So you can download it for free and play it for a couple of days before it's like a timed demo. So yeah, if you haven't played it, pick it up, try it. There's a few bugs. Tutorials don't currently work, so you might need to go onto go onto YouTube and watch some videos. And like Direwolf 20 did a sort of a starter's guide almost. You know, his let's play of it is more of sort of a start, somewhere between a starter's guide and a yeah. That's a pretty good example of something that you could watch. So yeah, I do recommend seeing if it's right for you. It might not be right for you. It might not perform particularly well on your system. And something that I'm gonna just clarify now in this video, because I'm kind of tired of typing out constantly. People will tell you that Space Engineers only runs on a single core. This is false. Space Engineers is a multi-core application. However, Havoc, which is the physics engine, only runs on a single core. So at the moment, my computer is running with, I've got a quad-core processor. The physics is all being put onto core 3, whilst the rest of the game is being put onto core 1, 2, 3 and 4, which means one core is running at about 100% and the other 3 cores are, you know, running at various percentages. Yeah, that sucks a bit. Now, for now, I am going to say thank you very much for watching this little video. It is, I guess, a warning to developers. Work out what's going to be inside your box and then stick to it. Don't get sidetracked, because otherwise it just goes on forever and you end up with things like this. Oh well, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.